healthy worker, sure, that's going to be an asset to your organization. So we want to look at occupational safety. Let's look at the company where we work and the staff's welfare. We will go on this break, and when we come back, we will start with the newspaper headlines this morning. Don't go, we'll be right back.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. Well, we'll start with the newspapers this morning. I want to start with the Nation newspaper, and it says, Court nullified Senator Omoagege's suspension. We also have Oyo warns against violence as council poll holds. And this says, Joasuit, doctors threaten strike. We also have this, things cannot be better, says Oshomole. And the writer says, ex-Edo governor for APC chair. Let me just take that one. The former Edo State Governor Adams Oshomole yesterday joined the race for the All Progressive Congress national chairman with a message to the party member that he would not be anybody's bodels. Well, we don't know about that, but you can get hold of the Nation newspaper this morning. And here seeks governors seek more cash for Agric to boost economy. And the writer says, experts okay ranching at the Nation First Summit on Food and Agriculture. That's what we can take for the Nation newspaper this morning. Go and get a copy.
Okay, here from the Vanguard newspaper we have here, Oshomole formally declares to run for APC national chairman. And here says, alleged financial crimes, NJC sets up 7 panels to probe 26 judges. Sean Summons, Ezekome Pedro, Quackers the Far with Falana. Okay, and we have here Obasanjo's CNM melds with ADC as Oyinola quits APC. Another story here says ICPC rearranges ex-IGP and Hinderu over alleged fraud. Okay, and we have here court nullifies Omoagege's suspension, orders his immediate recall. Well, I guess they don't have enough evidence to probe to lock him up, and it's all good.
Okay, what did you say? They don't have enough?
I don't think it's enough.
Okay, I don't know much about that story.
Okay, should we take the story?
Yes, I think you need to take this story.
I'll find out on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. Well, Omoagege.
With the suspension.
With the suspension, I think it's something we have to look into. It says here, the Abuja division of the Federal High Court has nullified the suspension of Senator Ovi Omoagege by the Senate. The court, in a judgment by Justice Nnamdi Dimba, held that the reason the Senate adduced for suspending Omoagege for 90 legislative days was unconstitutional. The court noted that the Ethics and Privileges Committee of the Senate recommended that Omoagege should be suspended to punish him for instituting legal actions against the Legislative House. Okay. Okay. So that the reason was also because, yes, not constitutional.
Okay, that's the reason it's not constitutional. Yes, you have other headlines there?
Okay, the last one I'll take here is Militant Rights Buhari ask FG to distribute oil blocks to states.
Okay, going ahead. We'll take the Punch this morning, and it says, APC taking Nigerians for fools, says Obasanjo. And the writer says, ex-president's coalition joins ADC. We also have this. The U.S. gave Nigeria $32 billion to conduct HIV and AIDS consensus. We also have Nigerian diplomat killed in Sudan. 35 states to experience flooding this year. We don't pray for that.
No, we don't pray for that. Well, Nigeria is not really the floody sort of country, even though we've been seeing cases. Yesterday on the news we had it on Kenya. A flood came and swept out a whole village. And in Nigeria, you don't see things like that. So
we do see things on the island, for God's sake.
On the island, you
oh my
God.
You
don't have, the water, the flood just coming, sweeping out the whole town. It doesn't happen. It just disturbs the road. And,
it's not the road alone. You see
the people, the residents, yes.
Their beddings are just up there. Their fridge is swimming. We have this one. 2 killed as police task force clash with Lagos residents. We have 260 billion invested in road under Buhari. This is coming from the federal government. Again, Senator Knox IG says he is afraid of his own shadow. This is the story of the IG and the Senate.
They would always come up with different allegations, but this right here, I wouldn't call it an allegation. It's just a perception which is what they see. When you give a body language, you are expected to have a reaction. You are expected to, make someone see something about you. So I think that's what his body language is telling the Senate, telling the public, like, there's shadows, there's something I'm actually hiding. There's something I need to...
But I don't know about that. I don't know if that is relating to that. I don't know from this end, but I know that he was invited once, not twice, and invited again, and he didn't turn up. But yesterday, he spoke out, and so I hope that this perceived disagreement among the legislators and the IG will just come to an end. We also have this one, corruption allegations. NJC raises panel to probe 25 judges, And finally, from the Punch this morning, federal government targets more revenues from 19 million taxpayers, my brother.
That's a whole lot of amount of people, and I really don't know what to say, but of course
will pay our tax. We will pay, but we need to see what we're paying our taxes for. We need to say those things. Okay, that's where we'll end this segment, the newspaper review segment. Up next, we want to look at occupational safety and health challenges. Working is essential to people's lives and families in general. When you say you're working, it's very important. You want to bring food to the table. But we have some kind of challenges when this happens. It's all about survival. And when you work in a particular place and it is hazardous to one's health, there's a danger. So today we're going to be looking at occupational safety and health challenges in Nigeria. Let's go on this break, and when we come back, we will continue. Welcome back. Well, we are looking at occupational safety and health challenges in Nigeria this morning. And we have Aigbe Cletus, and he's the National President, National Industrial Safety Council. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
And we also have Innocent Onoha, he's the National Treasurer, National Industrial Safety Council of Nigeria. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Welcome.
Aigbe, let me start with you. When we say occupational safety, what do we mean by that?
When we say occupational safety, we are saying safety while you work. When we say work in its simple terms means anything that one does, whether for a living, in the home, in school, on the road, depending on what you do. Whatever occupation it is you are into, there are hazards to that occupation. As you are sitting on this chair now, there are hazards with you sitting on this chair. So, occupational safety and health is looking at hazards that are associated with any occupation and looking at a way to mitigate against this hazard and to prevent this hazard from causing harm, injury, fatalities, and the rest of them. So occupational safety and health is simply looking at how people will go to work safe, come back home, live their life, enjoy their money, and enjoy their life.
Okay, we're going to open the phone lines for you to call and make your contribution as we continue with this topic. Is very important. Then we would say the WHO in 1950 talked about promotion and maintenance of the highest, I like the word they use, the highest degree of physical, mental, and well-being of workers in this occupation. So looking at Nigeria, so what would you say? Are we following? Are we adhering to the standards?
Well, Nigeria is trying our best, but not meeting up to the standard. Safety in Nigeria, you go to many places now, people walk the way they want to walk. There's what we call PPE. You give people PPE because of poverty they will not use. Some they will even provide inferior things. And by using some of these things, we are not meeting the standard. At work, if the law says you go to work, you close, you go on break time. After break, you walk, you close. Some people work from morning till evening. They will not close. They are not meeting that. If they say put on your PPE for where you have chemicals, you have to do that. If you don't do that, you are not meeting up. Why you are not meeting up is because you are not fully supervised by those who are supposed to supervise you. So in general, we are not meeting up completely. Okay,
Aigbe, he talked about PPE. I don't know what that means first.
Personal protective equipment.
Okay, like what?
For example, if the lighting here is going to be a danger to your eyes, your simple PPE here would have just been a goggle, a prescribed goggle.
Okay.
So that's like a PPE. That you are going to walk in a place where objects can fall from up, your PPE is your hard hat. That you are going to walk in a place where your hands will have contact with chemical, with live power. Your hand gloves, specific hand gloves for such is your PPE. Your coverall that will prevent a spill is your PPE. Your ear mop, your ear plug is what will prevent excessive noise to your ears. So PPEs are the last resort. When every other thing has failed, engineering, we have done all that it takes to remove the hazards, and we are unable to remove the hazards. The last resort is PPE. So that should it happen, let the severity of the incident that will happen, accident that will happen out of it, be reduced to the barest minimum. So if something drops from up on somebody's head, instead of opening the skull, the hard hat absorbs it and it drops. Maybe the highest, as it has reduced the the force that is coming from up. He lands, maybe just drops, gives him a little injury. But instead of the thing just coming in and removing his skull, or something dropping from up to cut off his toes and the rest of them, your safety shoes has it's been designed to have a lot of things that will protect you. For example, in front of your safety shoe it has a metal. If anything drops on it, it can withstand it and it won't cut your leg. So these are finer protection should anything go wrong.
Do we even understand it as Nigerians? Do we understand
occupational
safety in some companies today? Do we understand it?
There are two ways. They understand it, but a lot of companies have big knowledge. A lot of companies have refused to do what they should do. Yes, our laws are not very adequate today in Nigeria. Our laws are not very adequate. But we have some basic laws that if these laws were even adhered to by so many of these companies, to be sincere with you, if companies that come from abroad, those ones who are giving us a lot of headache today in Nigeria, in their own country, these laws are there and they cannot flout these laws in their country. So if you are telling me that you are bringing a company from your country here, you should be able to operate the same way your country is operating. So in all sincerity, in Nigeria, we have some basic laws that if they are adhered to, we would at least it will help us to some great extent, even though it's not adequate. So in answering your question, the truth is, many of the employers have refused to do what they should do. Many of the employers have refused to, do their own part as required by the law. There are a lot of laws.
What are these laws? We need to know.
As an employer, you are by law mandated to make sure the workplace is safe. You are to educate your workers on the danger associated with the work they are doing. Because somebody, you know that there's a scarcity of job in Nigeria. So everybody's scrambling for a job, and when they see anyone, they don't care to check what are the hazards. I tell you the gospel truth. There are some persons that will not live up to 50 years in this Nigeria. Why? 50 years is like glorifying the thing.
At the high side.
Why? Because they have endangered their life over the years because of the kind of jobs they do. And they've not been taught. Let me give a typical example. There was a day I had to spray my wife's car, and I gave it to a spray painter. And the guy, I went there to check what he was doing. To my greatest surprise, he was spraying the car without a nose mask. Without not even the cheap 15 naira own that would even reduce the particles. Do you know what he said? He said, "Listen, today we've been doing this thing." But right on the container, the paint container, you are told the dangers of using that chemical, what it will cost to you in future. But the guy, so it is not all about government too. Because it's the government that will tell that man, "Guy, read what is written on this thing."
You also said something very key while we're discussing. You said that some companies, international companies that knows how to do this thing well, when they come here, they don't adhere to these laws. Why do we allow that happen? Don't we have a regulatory body?
Okay.
Yes.
We have regulatory bodies. Like in Lagos State now, I am happy with Lagos State. The Lagos State Commission is doing very well. I am very, very impressed with what we are doing, because if they have the power, if they have the exclusive power to do a lot, I'm sure they will do better than they have been doing. But the Federal Ministry of Labour has the exclusive power when it comes to occupational safety and health. But what we have discovered is there's a lot to it. Like we will always repeat, for us the professionals, our laws are inadequate. Yes, as inadequate as they are, if we had implemented the little ones we have, we should have gotten somewhere. So it's about enforcement. Enforcement is not just about putting laws. It's about having the requisite resources and manpower to enforce these laws. For example, how many factory inspectors do we have in Nigeria? In Lagos State here, how many do we have? How many do they even have vehicles to go for the inspection? Do they have the required equipment
to even carry out their jobs?
Yes, they're not as much as they should be. Our sincere prayer, like some weeks back, we were at the Senate trying to lend our voice to the fact that the OSH bill needs to be signed. The OSH bill will greatly help the nation. The OSH bill will simply make Occupational Safety and Health no more a department under the Federal Ministry of Labor, but an agency on its own.
Tell us what this bill is all about, the OSH bill.
The OSH bill is Occupational Safety and Health bill. It is a bill that encompasses everything safety in Nigeria. It's the bedrock that we give Occupational Safety and Health the impetus that it needs. It's like NAFDAC today. NAFDAC has the power to make sure what we... So in the same vein, they are going to have the power. They are going to be an agency on their own. They have all the federal might, all the laws that is backing what they will do. There's going to be a board. There's going to be a director. There's going to be laws, regulations, and the rest of them that is going to help the nation secure our workplaces and make sure that people adhere to this. So, okay. But my simple plea is that the Senate should please hasten it and make it as quick as possible.
Okay, I would like to know occupational hazard and safety. We would really like to know the benefits and gains. You know, what's the benefit?
Well, for the occupational safety we're talking about, what is safety? Going out of danger. As in you want to cross a road, you see that there's a high tension cable, you have to leave it and pass the other side. You are away from that. The benefit of it is that once a company is being set up, those who, in quote, give them license to carry out their jobs should equally see how qualified they are to implement some of these things. Because if somebody is to use, like I did mention PP initially, provide those things for the person, the benefit there is that you reduce the danger. 1. 2, you, as owner of the company or the company itself, will not be paying premium to insurance that somebody has died while at work. Those ones you reduce. You will not be paying some things that are not supposed to be there. And then the other benefits are that you make your work last. What brings in some labor people at workplaces when the management is not implementing what they're supposed to do, you see the labor coming.
Okay, you wanted to say something like this.
The benefits are numerous. The benefits are numerous. Is it to the company? Is it to the individual? Is it to the employees? Is it to the nation? The benefits are numerous. Let me name some of them in addition to what he has said. Return on investment. For a company who works safe, for a company who implements proper safety, what do you gain? You don't, like he has said, insurance. You don't, if somebody dies in your facility today, do you know what will happen? The government will come after you. The family of the deceased will come after you. Labor will come after you. You will spend money. The reputation of the company may be destroyed for life. Like in the oil and gas industry, there's an accident that can happen in your facility. You may not be able to do a job again for a period of years in the oil and gas industry. The employees, they will come to work and go back safe. Your business will keep running. Your reputation will remain. The nation will have our economy growing because companies will begin to do the right things and the economy will be growing.
Okay, looking at all of these things, you talked about the benefits of these things. What do we need to put in our offices, workplace that will be safe for workers, including factories workers? Because that's really key. But in a company like ours, what do we need to put in place for safety?
The first and most important thing you need to put in place here is a safety management system. It's like a Christian and a Muslim. There's a guide which is the Bible and the Quran. So as a company, you should first have your guide. This is how we want to operate when it comes to safety. There you will say, this is what we will do when this happens. This is what we will do when this happens. For example, you should have your policy. That anybody who comes here should see your policy right on the wall. Oh, in Super Screen TV, this and this and this is our policy when it comes to safety. When there is a fire, how do people, if there's a fire here now, how do I escape? I should, the moment I sat down here, you should have just told me that, or even with a small pamphlet, I just read it. Oh, there's a fire here, this is the next route, this is the next route. If there's a fire here, where's the exit to go out? Assuming there's a fire at the exit which I came in, what's the other exit I should go out from? If there's a fire, how do we fight it? Do we have trained firefighters here? If somebody slips and falls in this office now, I hope you know that somebody can die from a slip, from a trip, from the wires around can trip somebody.
Okay, boss.
Somebody can die out of that, as small as it sounds, as it looks. A trip, and you smash your head at a dangerous object. That may be the end.
So a company must have charts,
a management system, a system that you have developed, yes, that says this is how we will manage safety in this place. In that management system, you will, if there's an accident, this is what we will do. Oh, for every job, we must have a procedure for it. If there's a non-conformity, how do we handle it? If there are hazards, how do we report it? It will tell you how we investigate our accident. We will do hazard analysis. We will do job hazard analysis. We will do risk assessments. For every job everybody does, even in your house, you should be able to evaluate the risk that is involved in it. As you evaluate it, then you make plans for those risks not to turn into accidents. Okay,
we're looking at the occupational safety and health challenges. This time around, what's the health challenges? How will I know that, hey, it's going to affect me if I don't do the right things? How do I know?
Well, for instance, let me take the engineering area now. You are a battery charger, and you're given the electrolyte to mix with water. You should know which comes first. That aside, you should know that this thing, a vapor is coming out of that place. Do I need to cover my nose? What kind of or type of nose mask are you supposed to use? Is it the one for the dust or the one for the... So whatever is given to you, you make sure you use the right one. That is one. Two, while you are mixing the electrolyte, you need to have your hand glove. Not ordinary hand glove for sweeping, but there are required hand glove for that. While you are having that hand glove, which is a PPE, you make sure that once you are used to all these things, you make sure that whatever you are supposed to do, you do with carefulness. Believe me, you work to your retirement. But if you don't do all these things, and then after some weeks, you go home, you begin to feel somehow either you're vomiting or you feel one kind, you go to the hospital, they take this and that, and instead of you to take precaution, you say, no, I will manage it. You begin to manage it, and as you manage it, you are going gradually. But if you know some of these things, you follow the rules.
Okay, do we really have you received adequate attention and support? Your profession, has it received adequate attention?
Adequate attention, no and yes. Not adequate, but there's attention for the Senate to begin to look at giving us a bill. That means there's an attention. For Lagos State government to have an agency called Lagos State Commission, it means that they understand. So our prayer is that let the fire go around. Let other states begin to emulate it. Our prayer is that this thing should come very fast. So, but to add to what he was saying, when it comes to health, in occupational safety and health, for example, every chemical, everything is a chemical, including water. There's a way you will take water, and it will become a danger to your life. as simple as water is, do you know that somebody in the course of taking Panadol tablet died? How? Not that the drug killed him of overdose, no. But because he did not take it the right way. Oh, it took it and it went the wrong way. So in everything we do, there are health hazards to them. There are occupational hazards to them. For example, if you buy any product, make sure you go through it very well. Every product you buy has a specification of this codeine issue we are talking about in the whole nation. Has codeine not been there all these years?
It's been there.
Many of us have you not taken codeine before?
I'll take it.
Did it do any harm?
Cough syrup.
Did it do any harm?
It didn't do harm.
Why? Because you took it within the prescribed limit. But today, people have gone above board. They've taken above the limit. These things are not naturally harmful if you take them in the prescribed limit.
So is it the same measures you use in occupational safety that you use in domestic safety? Is it the same style or is different?
Domestic safety is safety, whether it's domestic, whether it's but domestic, we have different sectors of safety.
Yes.
We have industrial, we have home safety, we have road safety, we have school safety. That's the reason why a few weeks ago, on the 27th, we launched a program called School Safety in Nigeria, because we want to catch them young. Now, home safety is strictly talking about safety in the home. Climbing your bed, there's a hazard in climbing your bed. If you don't climb your bed where you could hit your leg on the wood,
slip off.
You could slip off, you could roll off and fall. And so, safety in the home, for example, if there's a fire in the home, how do the family members know how to escape if there's a fire in the home? Is there a fire plan in the home?
So who is going to be teaching you if there's a fire in the home? Who will be teaching you if there's a fire in your office? Who will be doing that?
Your management should do that. The head of the home should do that. But because these things are not an all-commerce affair, that's why some of us are there to do this. So that's why NICN and the rest stakeholders are doing what we should do in advocating for people to be safe. So in home safety, you are talking about how many of us have as common as fire extinguisher in our home? A fire extinguisher. How many of us? How many of us know what to do when your oil is burning on the fire? How many of us know what to do in some homes? You see, they have just one entrance in, one entrance out. If there's an incident in the home, and that entrance is the point where the fire is, where do they escape from? So people need to know. You don't become. There's one great hazard that is all over. Carbon monoxide. It's called a silent killer. You know, you have your generator, you pass my neighbor, you plug it, you think you are trying to protect it from armed robbers. Meanwhile, it is coming back to kill you. Go and check records of people that it has killed in Nigeria. So, in home safety, we should be looking at making sure that everybody in the home is safe. As simple as water drops on the floor. Don't waste a minute to tell them to clean it, because somebody can slip on that little water on the floor, and the next thing is a fracture.
Right, we'll go on this break now, and when we come back, we're still looking at occupational safety and health challenges. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen Television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which has potent medicinal properties. Garlic is a plant in the allium onion family. It is closely related to onions, shallots, and leeks. It grows in many parts of the world and is a popular ingredient in cooking due to its strong smell and delicious taste. This compound is known as allicin and is also responsible for the distinct garlic smell. Allicin enters the body from the digestive tract and travels all over the body where it exerts its potent biological effect. Garlic is a plant in the onion family, grown for its cooking properties and health effect. Garlic supplementation is known to boost the function of the immune system. Studies show that a daily garlic supplement reduced the number of colds by 63% compared with placebo. Cardiovascular
There's a lot of fatigue.
Welcome back. Well, we're still looking at occupational safety and health challenges. I know that occupational hazard are globally major causes of mortality. Let me ask you, Innocent, looking at all of these things and also looking at, you've gone around some offices, do they really educate their staff on how important it is for someone to be careful at workplace?
Yes, I think if I should rate it, I would say both the federal, state, and local government, I will be putting it at the level of 20%. Who is the safety man in the place? Somebody who knows about safety. When you go to some companies, you ask of the safety manager, they will give you a security man at the gate as a safety man. Ask the security man, where is your fire extinguisher? He will point at the back of the building. Is the fire extinguisher supposed to be far from you? The answer is no. I was somewhere a few days ago doing risk assessment, and the man was asking me, what is the meaning of this exit? Fire exit, boldly written. He said, what's the meaning of this? I said, you should tell me better because this is your work. The safety in a place should be manned by those who know safety. Like he mentioned, the management system. It should be somebody who knows well about safety, who has studied everything about safety, both safety and security. So when the safety is in place, you now have those subordinates who will teach others or do whatever is supposed to be done.
Are you saying that there must be a safety manager in an organization?
Exactly. There must be a safety manager and not somebody who is controlling traffic at the gate.
Okay.
And a safety manager should know what it takes to be a safety manager. One, you yourself, you can defend it. Two, your people, the people working with you, know something about safety, even in your absence. You must not be called upon every time. Do you have safety in place? Do you have a safety science? Do you have a first aid box?
Okay.
Assuming somebody has a little cut that will not waste your time, because once you leave your work time, man hour is getting lost. You lost man hour. The time it will take to treat somebody about putting a small cotton wool or dust or whatever on your finger, you use it to look for where to go. Therefore, you should have a safety first aid box. You should have your safety signs. If there is any fire in the place, in the company, we have what we call a mustard point. Assembly point. People call it fire assembly. It's not fire assembly, it's assembly point. Because it could be fire problem, it could be flood problem, it could be house collapse or whatever. That's where everybody gathers. Once you gather at that design area, that is the area when they will come and take record of those. Like we enter here, we sign register. So that's where we take attendance of all who are in that building in case if somebody is still trapped somewhere.
Okay, so no, before you continue, so we must have a safety point or an assembly
point. I'm taking it from the outside and I'm coming into inside. Once you have the assembly point, now inside now you have your signages. This is an exit for this is an exit to this. And there's a new design now. Before the assembly point, there's what we call running to assembly point, where you have about 2, 3, 4 people running towards the assembly point. And that assembly point, nothing stops it, nothing blockades it. So you park a car and you do this and that, just like a fire service station. You don't block cars where fire trucks have been parked. So at assembly point, it's always a free place. That's for that. In the office, you have extinguishers. If you have electrical gadgets, you have a extinguisher for that, CO2. The changeover, all the electrical, you have CO2. If you have things like pepper and some other things, you have the DCP, dry chemical powder. Do people know how to use all these things in your office? Everybody, that's why they say safety is for everybody. They should all know how to use these things in case this person is not there, another person there. And again, you have a, what we call fire notice. Once you have the fire, I thank God for Lagos State, the fire service in short, federal and state. Once you have this fire notice, you can call any number, both the local, the internal one and external one, for fire service to come if it's getting beyond. Some time ago, the reader company near Oshodi got burned for 3-4 days. And they have safety people who are supposed to. But maybe the management refused to bring what is supposed to be put in place. They don't have those things. Such a place is supposed to have a hydrant. A hydrant at a high fire risk, use hydrant. When fire service come, they do the work. If you are not there, you yourself can. Lagos State is putting it along the road.
When you say hydrants, we need to know what you say.
Yeah, the fire hydrant is, if you look along Lagos Road now, most places, you see pillar standing, that is standing, the pillar type of hydrant, standing by the road, pipe painted in red color. It has either 2 exits or 3, as the case may be. These are the areas, if anything happens, you plug in your hose, and then you get ready for fire. Once that place, the tap is open, hydrant is open.
So you're saying it must be in all the office places?
For this kind of your high-rising,
these high-rising places, you need to have it here.
You should have it.
And you have a lot of signs say, go this way, go that way, in case of any fire exit. We have the right angle, we have the left angle, arrows rather, we have the down arrow. You have a building going under the staircase, you have mind your head. In case if there's any fire problem or any cause for you to go out, you have to go according to the specified laws. Don't be in a rush. Raise alarm once it happens. Don't be in a rush. Go accordingly, state by state, and avoid
what he's saying.
And avoid office problem. That is where some of these things. Some people will close the office. At the end of the day, you have fire problem. The sockets. If your socket is bad, please change it.
You don't need to manage.
You don't need to manage. Use it for the tape.
We manage a lot.
We manage a lot. Some people even use a stick to wedge it. And on one socket,
tape it.
Tape it. Some socket 13 amps should not over be loaded. If you have a socket for your UPS and work, the computer and all that, you should not even bring that of the photocopier there.
Okay, I need to ask you this.
Summarizing what he's saying.
Yes.
To capture virtually everything has talked about fire, all you just need is called fire plan.
Okay.
In your fire plan, you have all of that he has said. It's a comprehensive document that tells you what to do when there's a fire, where to run to when there's a fire, how many fire extinguishers do we have, how do we service them, when do we service them, who does this, who does that, who does that. So if you don't have it, we can sit down with you guys and put one together for you. So a fire plan is very important for every facility.
Okay, I must ask this because some people work in factories. So you see some workers, you will see that they don't treat them well where they work. They have incidents and they are left alone. Who will they go to as a worker? If these things are not being put in place at my workplace, who do I report to?
Okay, in today, I like being very frank. Meanwhile, before I answer that, I want to quickly chip in something. With the questions you asked before, for any organization to be able to be safety compliant, you need the services of a safety professional.
Okay.
So that's why in Nigeria we have a body called Institute of Safety Professionals. We have professionals that has been licensed to see to all of this. We have been trained to make sure the workplaces are safe. So it is the duty of a safety professional to make sure every workplace is safe. So that's why every workplace must have a safety professional. It now depends on you what you choose to call them. You can call them a safety manager, you can call them a safety officer, you can call them a safety supervisor, safety coordinator, it doesn't matter. But now coming back to your question. You said
some factories you see that people have accidents.
Yes.
Or incidents. Things do happen in their companies, and nobody's going to pay compensation. Some will say this thing is faulty and they're not fixing. Who do you report those things to?
Okay, in all sincerity to you, there's no law that gives an employee such power. Because I will be frank with every employee. If you do that in today's Nigeria, you will lose your job. But in civilized world, they have laws that is giving the employee the power to report. He has the authority to report to the right agency. That's why we are praying for the OSH bill to be out. In the OSH bill is going to be there. An employee now has the power to report an unsafe condition in his or her workplace. Coming to incidents and accidents in the workplace, who do they report to when they have incidents? Who fights for them? By virtue of today, the Federal Ministry of Labor Occupational and Health Department is in charge. But how much success we have gained in it, I may not be able to speak for them. But the truth is, we've had series of cases. In Lagos State, we have a lot of cases of people who have had accidents in the workplaces and they have not been catered for by the company. There's a young man called Abiodun whose case happened on the 1st of October last year with one of the Chinese companies. And it was burnt with multimetal. But the truth is, what have they done? The young man is suffering. We have cases like that everywhere. But the government also has NSITF, whose duty is to pay compensation. But I don't know how many companies have subscribed to it. But that's a package that the government has put together that companies will be able to pay compensations without so much burden on them. So I will advise the companies to take advantage of it, register with NSITF, then the employees should get to know their rights. I want to tell every employee, if anything happens today in Super Screen TV, my sister, tomorrow somebody else is here doing your work. True or false?
True.
So I will always advise every employee, work safe for yourself and for your family. Because I hope you know many persons are depending on your salary that comes from here. So if you will not work safe because of anybody, work safe for them. Your husband loves you, your brother loves you, your sister loves you, and children, work safe for them. When a job is not safe, please don't do the job. Okay,
we will have to also look at government side. You said you people are talking, you've been talking with the Senate, but looking at the government angle, what do you think government needs to do urgently for safety at workplace?
I will repeat it over and over again. Let the OSH bill be given birth to. The OSH bill should be passed as quick as possible. The OSH bill is going to help the nation greatly to take care of this.
So what advice do you also have?
Then the nation should make sure we implement, while we're waiting for the OSH bill, let's implement the little ones we have. Let's implement because you go to some offices, the place is like, it's cramped up like it's a chicken house. You don't find space to even move. And don't the funny thing, these things are in our laws that they should not be like this. But who will implement? Government, please let us implement our laws. Let the hammer fall on anyone who violates these laws.
Okay, you think with that people will keep up?
Yes.
Yes, let me ask you, looking at all of these issues, I know you people have been going around, you've met with companies. Are companies really ready to change? Are there some that are still stubborn, not seeing the essence of taking care of workers' health?
Yeah, there are so many of them that are very stubborn. And I'll put it to you that those who are stubborn are mainly the foreign companies. Why are they stubborn? They are stubborn because they felt they are coming in. They felt they are coming in. They came in through a particular set of people or persons, and nothing will happen to them. For instance, Something happened in Ikorodu some years back, where if you come to work, everybody will fall into the company, you'll be in the company, you'll be working, and once there's any fire, no way of going out. And that thing up till some years back when we investigated, the thing died just a natural death because they felt nobody can query them. All these Chinese companies, let's be very frank, Nigerians are still going to second level of slavery now. That if you come to a place, you will never go out until the closing time, and they will tell you when to go. I went to a company in this Lagos. I went to the canteen. My fellow Nigerians were using black nylon for their feeding. You line up like those asking for kwashoko food. They put food inside your nylon, and you go out and eat. While you have things that will have
This is not
place.
funny at all.
It's not funny. So when I went, I wanted to see the manager. They say it's not around, it's not around. Something happened. They needed me for something. I went back to him. I said, "This is what I saw there." He said, "It's not true." I said, "It's not true." It's unfortunate I hadn't any picture, evidence. So Nigerians are their problem. Some of them, like he said, don't want to leave the job. So whatever he said they should do, they do it without problem.
So you're saying that some people still enslave?
Nigerians are going through the second and the highest degree of slavery this time around. Even as we are seated here talking, people are passing through hell and they cannot report to anybody. All they want is at the end of the day or month, give them their stipend to go home. And they trek this time, they don't even have staff boss. They don't have any medical attention, nothing. In the office, in the place, somewhere in Ikeja, somebody wanted to spread his overall, turn back, nail pierce his leg. That was how the guy does. Some companies see their workers have chopped off fingers. Nothing has happened. If the labor talk too much, they say they don't want the labor.
But can't you people report to the authorities?
That's why we're saying. That's why we're saying some of them came through.
For us, the council, National Executive Council, we are working on putting together a platform with the stakeholders where everybody who has an incident can report the incident. Then we will now be the ones to report it to the appropriate authority.
Okay.
But every incident must be reported with facts and figures, because sometimes when you go into some incidents, you discover that even the employees are culpable, and you begin to see some things that you were not supposed to see. But there's a lot to it, because I know that if you tell somebody what he's going to see if he does the thing, I'm sure he will not want to do it. So education in occupational safety and health is very, very key. Advocacy, education, and that's what NICN is doing. We are advocating. Any company who chooses to partner with us, you will definitely be better for it.
No, but he said something that we need to look at. He said the international foreign company owners here in Nigeria don't even want to respect Nigerians. What do you think is the cause?
Whose fault is it? It's like we have always been saying. If in my country, where I'm coming from, there are stringent laws that I must obey. I'm telling every day we get news of somebody was walking up and he did not wear his safety belt and he fell and something happens. The company is fined in millions. In some countries, their laws have been refined in such a way that if the MD is culpable, he goes to jail. But so if you come to a place where you see that things are not working, nobody questions you, nobody queries you when you do something wrong, what will you do? You continue, you save money and enjoy yourself.
Are you saying that Nigerian government should just allow these people come into Nigeria and they would carry out evil activities like that?
It's neither here nor there. The truth is this. Like we have said over and over, we don't have adequate manpower and adequate laws to deal with these issues.
Supervise them.
So that's why I will repeat till that OSH bill is out. The OSH bill will help us.
So what's slowing the OSH bill? What is
in the Senate.
What is slowing it right now?
You know how it is.
I don't know how it is.
It has to go through all the stages. Some years ago, it was almost passed, and something happened. It came down again, and now we're starting afresh again. But I'm happy that all stakeholders are now coming together. Federal Ministry of Labour, NLC, TUC, all of us, we are pushing it this time around. We've all agreed. There's a particular senator who is seriously in love with it and is pushing it. I'm happy that it's going. So all of us who have said, let's us harmonize and put up one document that all of us with families.
We will be right back. Just a minute. We will be right back. We'll go on this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's very important that we look at safety this morning. And I want to ask, what is the required minimum standard of safety and health in workplace in Nigeria? Let me start with you. The minimum standard.
The minimum standard is, first of all, what you said earlier, management system in place, followed by implementation. Implementation and then follow up. Are they meeting up? Are they, you give from time to time refresher courses. Provide for them what is required for that safety.
Okay.
Provide for them whatever is required for that safety.
Okay. What about you,
The minimum standard for safety in Nigeria can be found in our laws, the Factories Act. If you go to the Factories Act, you will see the minimum standards, which, like we will always say, is not adequate. But that's where you will find the minimum standard that every company must adhere to. Before you now begin to go to sector specific, like the oil and gas sector, DPRO has theirs. You go to NESRA, they have theirs. You go to radiation, they have theirs. You go to power, they now have sector specific. But when you talk of general, you go to the Nigerian Factories Act. Okay,
so we'll go to the Act, then you can get that. We're about wrapping up this program, but we want you to reiterate what we've been saying since, so that some attention will be drawn to this.
Well, as Nigerians, once you leave your house going out for work, come back, your family will say welcome, and not be heard that you're in the mortuary or somewhere. Come back safe and sound by being safe at work, doing what is supposed to be done, obey the laws of safety. What are the laws? The laws are put up your PPE while you are working, respect the law, follow the rules and regulations, and come back home without problem.
Okay, I forgot to ask this question, and it's very important. Where does this safety start from? Is it when you get to work or when you leave your home? At what point, when you say occupational safety, at what point? Is it when you leave the home or when you get to work?
There's no point. Safety is every moment.
Okay.
It's every moment. I don't want us to restrict it to workplace, because if you go to some company, you will see on their gate, safety starts here.
Maybe I should explain more. I'm saying when they say safety, occupational safety, and you're leaving your home for workplace, you know, you're working somewhere, you're telling your family, I'm going to work. So if anything happens in that line, who will bear it?
Between your house
Yes.
and the office gate, or
Yes.
the office bus, if you have a bus, you're on your own.
Okay.
But from the moment you enter the company bus, if the company has a bus, the company begins to account for your safety. But from your house to the point you enter the company's premises or the company's bus, depending on which one comes first, that is the bus that picks you or you get to the gate. Because some persons have had such incidents where on their way to work, they had an accident, and the family said the company has to pay. No, I don't think that is completely right. If the person was going for a company's job at that time, is a different thing. But between the time you are leaving your house to your workplace, you should take care of your safety. But I want to say that safety does not have a point where it begins. Safety starts from the day you were born till the day you will die. So make sure
Safety is every time, anywhere you are. Anywhere you are. Safety is. We'll have to wrap up this program today. I want to thank Innocent Onoha, the National Treasurer, National Industrial Safety Council of Nigeria. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
And also Ahigbe Cletus, National President, National Industrial Safety Council. Thank you for coming on this edition. I got myself educated here. Safety is key. Well, viewers, I hope that's the end of this segment. Up next is SuperDawn Sports with Prince Will. We'll be right back.